In this screencast, we will be introducing and demonstrating mode flow. Developing a professional web app is essentially working through various modes of building. Some modes involve schema design thinking, while others involve a completely different team or exercising a side of brain like designing the end user experience. These modes are orthogonal to each other and often we work in them in tandem in an iterative interactive way. Mode flows are essentially the modes I just described, but scripted, automated, and executable. In the initial segments of this screencast, we'll set up a project using AWS Amplify uh, and deploy a schema. Let's get started. We'll call this project figamp SC1, standing for screencast 1. Testing browser navigations. We'll be working with two Chrome sessions, one signed into GitHub in addition to the other one signed into AWS. I like them one keystroke and three keystrokes separated from my tmux session. So let me set that up. So one keystroke separated is my GitHub session and three keystrokes separated is my AWS session. You can see two panes on the current window. The pane on the left is from where I will read this screencast. And send commands via Srimux functions. TS and TSNE to the waiting command line prompt on the right pane. So this is the waiting command prompt on the right pane, and this is the left pane from where I'm reading this. The mode flows are automated on top of Srimux. Now you can open up the Srimux documentation to know more about this CLI automation tool I had written. So you can read about Srimux here. There is even a video which explains how to set it up, etc. As mentioned, we'll be working in many mode flows, starting with a hello world mode flow, codenamed TAKU. I like to keep four-letter names, four-letter words, mode flows, code names, so that searching them is easier. Typically, such mode flows begin by following some setup documentation. So in this case, the setup documentation is the AWS Amplify setup. You can read more about it here. You can read the configure instructions in page 1 and write instructions on page 2. That's what we will script through the following steps. We can begin creating a white React JS app in white. White is a build system optimized for a better developer experience. So we choose React and figamp SC1 as the project name. We can examine the packages created. The React version is 18.2.0. We can cd into the project and set up a Remux pane, renaming it as Amplify Setup. And we can go ahead and install the packages. You can check out the white tasks like dev, build, lint, preview, etc. Now time to configure Amplify. You may use an already existing AWS profile if you have configured before. We won't be configuring Amplify for this screencast, and we will use figamp demo profile we have configured before. So we'll be skipping this step. Now what we'll do is we'll try to init the Amplify project. Uh, Let the project name be the name of the directory, figamp sc1. Environment name is dev. Editor is Vim. It's a JavaScript React project. The source path is default. Distribution path should be dist. The profile name should be fig amp demo air Mumbai and not this one. And we won't bother improving Amplify CLI. So let's configure with these or let's init with these parameters. So it's Vim, JavaScript, React, source, dist, build command, start command, AWS profile. We'll be using this, and in a few minutes it will deploy the project. Now, in the next steps, we will be gradually adding features like graph API, uh, auth, update API, step by step. This is so that Other members of the team, especially UI folks, can collaborate on this project through Amplify Studio. Very similar to a Django admin panel, but Django admin had some better sorting, etc. But nevertheless, this collaborative approach is essential for collaborative data administration. So we'll create a GraphQL backend which will be updated later and secured through AWS Cognito. So let's go ahead and create a GraphQL backend. So it's GraphQL, name is fine, auth mode is fine, conflict detection is fine, continue. We can say post with comments. It'll give some warnings. That's fine. We said no, we don't want to edit the schema now. And then we do a amplify push. Yes, to continue. Yes, to generate code. Yes, to JavaScript. Yes, to the location. Yes, to the possible operations. Here we would want 3 as depth, maximum depth, as it will be necessary later for auto forms, etc. through UI. And amplify push actually will take some time, so we let it go on.